All right, y'all. So we're getting closer and closer to the October challenge with LASHAE on ifyoucanmove.com. Y'all know that I was a part of last month's challenge, the Hip Hop Tabata Season 2 challenge, and I went down a whole size from a large to a medium on my way to a small. Think it's a game, okay? You guys can go and sign up for the October challenge, which is the Trap and Tone challenge, which will start at some point in October. I'm not sure because we're still waiting on our weighted bands. Damn you, postal system. Okay, you also can purchase the Yogi Fits, which are the tights and the top. Okay, the Bustikela from Peja and Amari, which is also in the boutique if you go to teamlashe.com. So support Black owned businesses, get in shape, get your life, and yes, please, ISOT Nutriburst, get your life. I know that y'all think we out here scamming y'all, but I know y'all see us. How is a scam if you seeing the results? Okay, get your life. Look, get down below in that description box. Use my link. Try this tea out. Try out the Nutriburst. You can always get samples. You can even get your money back on some of this stuff if you don't like it, because people have done it, okay? But you have got to work out as well. Please do not think you can just drink tea and you're gonna lose weight. That's not how any of this works, okay? You have to really be on a journey where you're trying to get healthier, and this aids in that process. So, now that I've said all of that, y'all go ahead and enjoy whichever video is coming after this ad. Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl Bondy Blue, and I am back for another Married at First Sight review, y'all. Let's go ahead and get into it. So, the episode starts off with Karen and Miles, okay? They're in the bed together, and he's asking if she trusts him, and she says to an extent, okay? And basically what she says is she does not feel physically in fear of him, which is what she let on last episode, which was why I was so upset, okay? Like, I did not like that wording, and I will say it again. But we're recovering from that this episode, okay? Miles and Karen are really trying to work on their relationship. I think production and Karen are trying to make us believe that she really likes Miles in some aspect, but I don't know. I still feel like she's not attracted to him. I don't know why. I feel like he's a nice looking man. He has some muscle tone to him. He seems to keep himself up, good hygiene, things of this nature. So I don't know why she don't see it for him, but she don't really seem to be seeing it for him. Brett and Olivia have a sit down with Dr. Vivian and discuss how if he didn't have his home, if he didn't own his home, then it wouldn't even be up for discussion. They would find another place to live in, okay? Or he would move into her place because her place is closer to her job, okay? And if you want to spend time with her with crazy, nurse hours, then y'all need to be 5 minutes away from the hospital and not 30 to 35 minutes away from the hospital. So that is a real spot of contention in their relationship, as well as Olivia not really knowing if she wants to have kids or not. From what Dr. Viviana understands is that this is Viviana, whatever. This is supposed to be a if the right situation comes along, yes thing, not a I don't know, probably no thing. And it's a deal breaker. So it's hard for them to focus on enjoying each other when there are so many deal breakers involved in their relationship. And I also think that Olivia is totally dried up and turned off by the fact that he is not only cheap and broke, but they have different, and hey, that's no disrespect. I'm cheap, I'm broke. But I understand the value in traveling, and I don't see it as something that is frivolous the way he does. There's a judgmental tone to the way he deals with Olivia, and I think that makes her shut down even more. It's not just about the fact that you're broke. It's also about the fact that you're not open to doing things that I like, and if it's something you don't like or you don't understand, you choose to demean, degrade, and make people feel like they're dumb. So, there are a lot of things going on with Olivia and Brett right now that have nothing to do with these big issues. Not really. But, we're going to act like the big issues are the problem. And I think Dr. Viviana was trying to get them to focus on the small things right now. Don't even think about that. Focus on the small things. But I feel like Brett says later on, that's easier said than done. While they're having a conversation, he keeps making all of the sarcastic remarks. And even Dr. Viviana has to, Viviana, y'all, I don't know. She has to tell him, can we be serious for a second? Can we stop with the jokes? And then there's this, This face he makes to Olivia, like, you know, you sound stupid, you know, you sound dumb. Like that, that's the face. And that's the energy that she's receiving from him. And she's spot on. That is exactly what he's giving her. And, you know, she's bothered by it. She keeps telling him not to look at her like that. Child, he is exhausting. Brett is exhausting. Throw him away. But I feel like he's been like this the whole time. You know what I'm saying? He's been an asshole the whole time. I tell y'all over and over again, as buff as he is a goofball, insecure ass man. He is not secure in who he is and what he has. And no woman, especially no confident woman like Olivia, wants to be with a man who is so insecure about, you know, the comparisons, you know, the lack thereof in comparison to her, that he uses, you know, different little microaggressions to knock her down a few pegs. He's constantly trying to keep her in a place of, you know, unknowing. You know what I'm saying? I think he's always trying to keep her unsettled because it makes him feel better. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm insecure, if I make you insecure, then we're both insecure and I feel better. Like, that's what Brett does to Olivia all the time to me. Then they talk about, you know, PDA and how she doesn't like PDA and how they haven't had sex. She feels like, you know, she tries to be affectionate, and he was like, trying to make it seem as if, almost joking as if she doesn't. And she was like, but I do. You know what I'm saying? But yes, I do. You know what I mean? I feel like they haven't had sex because she doesn't like him. And Dr. Viviana explains to her that she needs to show him if she wants him in order for him to actually want to take that step, because he's so insecure. He has to feel like she really, really wants him in order for him to, I think, open up to her in that way. But he is more affectionate than she is. But I really think he's a turn off on so many different levels that it's like, no, I don't want you to touch me. You're turned off. You're turned off. I'm off. Not on, I'm off. Amelia and Bennett talk to her aunt, and they talk about her having to move for her job. Y'all know that's the constant, you know, thing between Amelia and Bennett, is everything is hinged on whether he's going to move with her wherever she has to go for her residency. And he says they'll cross that bridge when they get there. That bridge will probably be coming soon, within the next week or so. So, yeah, you might want to make a decision, but I also think it depends on where. You know, if her residency is here in New Orleans, you know, like, it might be, doesn't necessarily have to be in Timbuktu. Karen and Miles have their visit with Dr. Viviana, and she's moving at a snail's pace, Karen, you know, as far as the relationship and trust. I feel like she keeps saying the same thing over and over again. And they've already had arguments and they've had these tough times, and she's like, she expects him to all of a sudden turn into Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde or something like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like she thinks he's gonna, you know, I'm home on her ass or something like that, you know, and that's not who he is. He's very much the person that he is, and that's annoying because you have a problem with that. You know, like, in one breath, it's like, oh, I want to make sure you're showing me exactly who you are and you're being comfortable in who you are. But then, oh, he you know, he talks about his feelings too much. That's an issue for me. Like, bitch, what? Say what you want. She can be tiring sometimes with the back and forth. He talks about how he wasn't expecting to feel as connected to her as he does. He doesn't know if she wants him, though. You know what I mean? And she's cringing a lot, and it's just like, oh my God. It's so awkward. She doesn't want to talk about sex on camera. You know, her parents are watching. Y'all, I get so tired of people with this. You know, like this, oh, we're not supposed to talk about sex, as if it's not something that everybody does. Like, just think about it. Think about it. What if we were like, oh, don't talk about what you eating today. What's wrong with you? That's not ladylike. Don't talk about what you eating. Don't talk about how you ate your food or what you ate for dinner. Don't talk about that. We do it every day. Okay, you eat. You don't eat as much as you fuck, but some people, yeah. Okay, I'm just saying, it is very much a part of your life to have relations. Okay, so I don't understand why it's still such a taboo subject, as if everybody isn't gonna have to do it. Like, it's just weird to me at this point how people respond and you know, react and talk about sex. I feel like, of course, there are some things that should always be private, but just the actual conversation of, you know, what you like and what would help you get to that place. I don't know if I feel like that's that much of, you know, a salacious topic. But Dr. Viviana tells Karen that she can let Miles know what's up in small ways. You don't always have to say it. Write him a note. Send him a text. Do it when the cameras aren't here. But I think she used the cameras as a way to, you know, make up for what she's doing. Like, oh, I don't want to talk about it because the cameras are around. When really y'all are not having these conversations when the cameras aren't around either. At least to me. Because I feel like if they were, he wouldn't be so in the dark on how she feels about him. She says she does want to, you know, have that relationship with him, but I just kind of feel like you need to give somebody energy. Like I'm not like that, y'all. I'm definitely one of those people that if you give me energy and I feel like you like me, there's not gonna be any misunderstandings. You're not gonna be like, was that my end? No. Okay, I'm right there. Okay, right there. Dr. Viviana says that they should take sex off the table and give each other a boundary instead. And I was just kind of like, take sex off the table, huh? I guess until they make a decision about what they're going to do. Look, at first I was kind of like, what? Like, what you mean? But ultimately, within the confines of this process, I understand why it might be more comfortable and less of a pressure point if we just take it off the table completely at this juncture. Because Karen still doesn't feel like she knows Miles well enough to have sex with him. I have a 3-month rule in general, so I understand. But I also wouldn't sign up to marry somebody at first sight if I was going to stick to that 3-month rule. Just saying. So Imani and Woody, they ask each other questions. They talk about positions that they might like. It was like a little game that they played. And she's having a hard time talking about sex on camera as well, but she still does it. Okay, y'all, I really like Imani. I see a lot of myself in Imani. She asked if there's something that he ever gave up on. And he says that his relationship with his pops was something that he gave up on. But he also feels like if it was something that was unresolved, he wouldn't be able to be in this marriage with her. But Woody's dad went to jail when he was like 9 years old, which is like right on the cusp of you going into teenage manhood. So once his dad got out of jail when he was 16, there really wasn't much his dad could teach him that he should have been there to teach him, you know, when he was 9, 10, 11, 12 and all of that type of stuff. Which I get that, but I feel like obviously the daddy, you know, is a deadbeat. Because to me, if you want to be there for your son, then you should be there for your son. Just because you couldn't teach him how to tie a tie or shave doesn't mean that you can't be there for him when he needs a sounding board or when he needs to feel like there's somebody in this world that cares about him and understands him. He should be able to think about one of his parents or both of his parents in that respect. So if you weren't there, suck it the up and go be there for your son instead of what I feel like is hiding in the guilt, which is what a lot of parents who weren't there for their kids do. They can't deal with the guilt, just like they couldn't deal with the responsibility. Now, yes, you went to jail, but that just proves that you had messed up priorities. You had a son in this world, and you should have been making decisions for him, and that's not what you was doing, okay? I feel bad for Woody because I feel like that's something that has really been to his detriment, is not having that love or even that relationship with his father. But y'all know that Imani has a dad and a stepdad. So she got 2 daddies. And he, you know, coming to the table, he can take some of that. And that's, I'm telling y'all, I don't know if it's just New Orleans people, but we do have a tendency to, you know, come together. There's a come togetherness. People will put their foolishness aside a lot. Me and Lyric was talking about this earlier because we was watching, last night was watching Bridezillas. And the way Kennard was allowing the homeboy to play with him like that, like he should have, like the homeboy mouth should have been bloody after that bachelorette party, but it wasn't. Especially after the wedding, you sure in the background and all of that, like, oh my God. But anyway, we were just saying how sometimes New Orleans people deal with such ignorant shit from one another that we have like a high tolerance to the ignorance. So people be out here doing outlandish shit and we'll just be like, oh, here they go. Like, yo, if y'all wasn't watching Bridezillas last night, y'all missed out. It was some funny. But yes, I think, you know, New Orleans people have a tendency, you know, not all the time, but in my experience, in my family, and what I'm seeing with Imani and her family, the ability to put foolishness aside for the kids. So Karen and Miles go to Body Fit, like a workout class, and they're kind of going about it in a competition type of way. Because he swell up and down and he gonna be able to outdo her. And I'm like, no, you're not. That girl in shape. Okay, they did this class and it looked hard. Okay, but I'm in better shape than Lyric. So sometimes when he think he gonna beat me, he not. Now y'all probably could, you know, she probably could beat you. He probably could have beat her like in a bodybuilding contest, like a weightlifting contest, or maybe even running. It just depends. I feel like they don't have that much of a height differentiation, but there's no way he can't outrun me with his legs being twice my leg size. That don't even make sense. But yeah, y'all, they had a good time. And she talks about how one of the things she's learning that she really likes about Miles is that he can take a joke. And I'm like, yeah, Karen, me and you like that. Because I've been with dudes where you just be playing and you be joking like to, lighten up the mood and create, a little bit of banter. I like a little bit of banter, every now and again. And sometimes dudes can't take it. They be so insecure. You can't even have a little banter without them, going for the jugular. Wait a minute. I was just playing, brother. Calm down. So, when she said that, I was like, yeah, I understand. There's a lot of people who I've upset accidentally, and I was just playing. But anyway, Henry and Christina, Dr. Viviana comes over so that they can talk. And they have, basically friend-zoned each other in a way. They're friends. I'm like, y'all are not friends. Y'all don't really like each other. Not like that. If y'all weren't put in this position with one another, y'all would not be friends. Okay? Like, that's why I feel like y'all aren't really friends. Y'all just are in a process in which y'all can tolerate each other until it's over. There's this conversation about, showing affection and how they need to start doing that with one another. And y'all, look, obviously Henry has some shit with him. About why he can't deal with people directly, or why he's always, head down. I feel like, I don't know what that's about, but I feel like there has to be some type of therapy for whatever he has, some real hands-on therapy for whatever is going on with Henry. Y'all know what I'm saying? No shade, you know what I'm saying? Like, but it's just something about his posture and stuff that makes me feel like it's more than just a confidence issue. So they talk about him having to be, more affectionate, but her also having to be more receptive. She's not that receptive. If he puts his hand on you, then you should put your arm on him, or, put some of your body weight on him. But y'all have to, it has to be give and take. It can't just be one person who is uncomfortable but still trying, and the other person is like, oh, it seems like they're trying, but, I'm just going to stay like this. Like, no. It has to be, a two-sided story out this bit. So Bennett and Amelia, y'all, they actually do exercise where they stand like head to head and talk about what makes them feel close to one another while holding each other. I was like, damn, me and Lyric should do this. Like, it was just real, obviously a good exercise to tap into each other and create more of a level of intimacy. And that's what this episode was about, creating intimacy. It's not just about sex. It's also about creating a level of comfortability and physical, comfortability with somebody, like, for lack of a better term right now, okay? So they tell each other their favorite parts of the other's mind. Like, it was all deep and everything, and it was sweet, and I love it. And here's the thing about Amelia for me. I feel like there is a level of insecurity that Amelia has, but we don't know, because Amelia's so smart and so sure of herself. I think that she can sometimes come off as someone who you don't know if they're actually saying how they feel, or if they're just trying to be nice about it because they don't want to get into it. They don't want to have confrontation, so they just kind of let things go by. That's kind of how I felt about her, especially last episode when she didn't really want to express to Bennett what she found annoying about him. But this episode, something made me feel like, even though she's a confident woman, there's a level of her that is insecure about herself, like all women. So there's probably like this area of herself that's like, I don't want to express any small dislike or annoyance because it's not that big of a deal in the first damn place. And I don't want to create any reason for us to have negativity in this situation because it's not that big of a deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like, her need to not want to cause issue, you know what I'm saying, is a part of her feeling like I found somebody that I totally click with, that clicks with me, that's on my same wavelength. I don't want to let anything mess this up, including being overly, picky about things that don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was trying to understand what that was about, and I think this episode, without them even talking about it, I kind of had a clearer understanding of Amelia. Because even though she's so open and everything, that constant smiling thing makes me feel like, and the fact that she's so smart makes me feel like I don't know what's behind. I don't know what's actually happening up here. And what you're showing me can be different than what's happening here and in here. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's things I notice about people. But anyway, Woody and Imani talk about having a dog. And Woody said he don't want a dog. If they get a dog, he need a baby to come with the dog. And she like, what? Like, why? Why would you even want those two things at the same time? Like, I'm trying to do her. I got her. I love it though. Cause like this episode, she was getting in the bed and like, you know, you could really hear her accent. Cause I feel like the black girls that have been in corporate America, like we know how to turn our accents on and off. You know, because we have to answer phones sometimes, okay? But like, you know, the first couple of episodes, you could hear the New Orleans people kind of, except for Woody, trying to pull their accent back just a little bit. I really like Woody and Imani, and it's so funny because I'm like, the more I watch them on TV, the more I be wanting to be like, so do y'all want a double date? Like, y'all want to go to the hookah bar with us one night? You know what I'm saying? Like, because I feel like we would enjoy each other's company. I mean, you know, we're, you know, 3 years in newlyweds. Y'all are like newlyweds, like a month, you know, like, no, I think it's probably been like a year since the show.
Okay, I didn't know that.
No, maybe 6 months.
Okay, because I
6
thought
months.
they, you know, was dealing with the pandemic.
No, they're not dealing with the pandemic yet. So it might be a year, you know, difference. But anyway, you know, I'm just saying, Imani girl, I'm just saying we could go to the hookah bar together. Just let me know. Anyway, so yeah, back to the dog, okay? She wants the dog. He doesn't want the dog. She says, I'm going to show up with a dog. And what you going to do, divorce me?
He said, you and that dog going to be outside.
Yeah, he said, you and that dog going to be outside. Bro, when I tell you, they little banter, they little conversation back and forth had me dying. Like, love it. Love it, okay? So Olivia and Brett go out to eat and talk about Dr. Viviana telling them not to worry about the big issues right now. And Brett is like, you know, it's kind of hard to do, you know. That's how he be, y'all. That's how he be. Olivia brings up how he's always looking at her like, you know, in this sarcastic way. And he's like, oh, is that what I do? Oh, well, you know, I don't think that's what I do. He never really says, I don't think that's what I do. He just kind of listens to what she says. And then he's like, oh, okay. Like, he doesn't say anything in response.
He's just a walking sarcasm.
Yeah. And I feel like anytime she says anything that is negative, he takes it so hard that he can't actually receive it for what it is. So as soon as she said something about the way he looks at her like she's stupid when she's expressing something, his way of responding to that is to make it seem as if she has an issue in her perception and she's wrong in misunderstanding him. And she's insecure. She asks if he takes the moment seriously because it seems like he always gives some beauty pageant answer. And y'all remember he did that when every time the couples come together and there's a question for the couples to ask, he doesn't want to answer it, okay? He's not owning anything and he's making it seem like it's all on her. So she asks if he wants to be married to her. And he says he's been very clear on that. So she asks, okay, so do you want to be married to me? And he's like, yes. Wow, you are so insecure. Me and Lyric, when he said that, me and Lyric were like,
that shit, I was like, wow, son, guess what? You're about to get a divorce.
My divorce. And she was like, wow. When she said, oh, I'm insecure, she was like, wow, okay. When she ate that like that.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Me and Olivia could be friends too. Because I like her too.
Yeah, bro. I like her.
When she was like, oh, me.
Myself.
Oh, it's me.
You can come.
It's me? Oh, okay. Just you by yourself. Don't bring him.
You're quiet.
Right.
You
can tell I'm going to intimidate him.
Like
Don't bring him around. Don't bring Brett around me. I can already tell you I'm going to hurt his feelings. Okay? Don't even send my video to him.
You and Brett don't mix.
No. You got to be a Brett with, with confidence about yourself. Okay? My Brett got confidence. And
he could have confidence. You just still going to tear him apart for no reason.
For no reason.
You're going to eat him alive.
I don't mean to.
He can't give a beauty pageant answer.
I'd have been Christina. Remember what Christina was like? Well, I mean, you're saying it, but you're not really saying anything. So why can't you just answer the question? Just answer the question. Like, Christina had him in a corner one day and Olivia was mad. But now I'm sure she looks back on it like, like Christina was right. So Karen and Miles talk about having nicknames for each other. And he said how he called her head, and I thought that was hilarious because she
didn't even catch it. Puffy,
which I love because she thinks she's so much smarter than him, and you can tell. So the fact that she got that head. Look, yeah, what's up, head? But anyway, she said she's not a nickname type of chick. I'm like, child, we know. Okay, you the type of chick that just call a man bae. Okay, that's it. He bae. That's it. They do have a discussion, however, about how he truly feels about the comments that she's always making about his age. Like one time she was like, oh, you remind me of myself 8 years ago. And it's like, bitch, you like 4 years older than me. Calm down. But really, she says it's not even about age. It's about him being in a place where he can't communicate effectively how he feels, and she feels like she used to be in that place. So it's not about age as much as it is about the communication. And I'm like, the fact that you think you communicate better than him is hilarious to me. Girl, you're still in that place. You should be like, oh, you remind me of me right now. Okay, because you're not that good of a communicator. That's why he don't know how you feel or what to do, and he feels unsettled because you're the one that's setting the tone, and your tone is, I'm okay. So like, what is he supposed to do with that? So Henry talks about how he's still insecure from being fat in middle school. And Christina felt like I felt. Like, I'm starting to like Christina more and more as since she's been on her medication. I'm just starting to like her more and more. Okay? Because Christina said, you're not fat no more, though. What you insecure about it for? Like, what about something had to happen, And I feel like she tried to talk to him about that at some point throughout the episode. Like, what was the actual occasion? Because you in therapy, so make me understand why you still bothered by shit that was happening when you was in middle school. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy to me. So I felt how she felt about it. When they put the blindfold on her, she talks about how one of her deal breakers is a man not being confident. I also understand that. I understand that so very, very much. Okay? I would not be able to be with a man like Henry. I couldn't. Like, I need you to have some type of confidence about yourself. And I think she's just now understanding that that's a deal breaker for her because she's attracted to assholes. And sometimes assholes automatically come with a level of confidence about themselves. So that's what she's used to. So now she's in a relationship with somebody that may not be as judgy of her as some of those assholes, but still, there's a whole sector of the relationship that deals with the man having confidence in himself in order for the woman to feel, like she can be a lady about it. You know what I'm saying? So him not being, grounded or being confident makes her feel like she can't really be who she wants to be in this relationship as a woman. And I understand that. And he got upset and felt like she was being rude when she said that. But I kind of felt like, you said her impatience was a deal breaker. So how is her saying that your lack of confidence is a deal breaker? How is that any more rude? Like, that's how insecurities sneak up. Because you think she trying to slap you in the face with some shit when really it's what it is. Brett and Olivia go to a cocktail making class. They have a good time. They talk after. And she asks if, he feels that the issue that they talked about before was resolved. And he says, it's not going to be resolved because it's a problem of perception. Okay, and I was just like, so basically telling her that I don't need to change anything because I haven't done anything wrong. We just need to keep doing what we're doing now. I just need to keep being genuine and ignoring what you're telling me. And it'll just be okay. She says, well, I think we should go and talk to, the doctor about it because he really got us to have an honest conversation and notice that we were fighting about something even though, we weren't exactly fighting about something. And he says, okay, if that's what you want to do. And she's like, well, you have to want to do it too. And he was like, well, I'm not the one with the problem. I was just like, so your inability to self-check is also going to become an issue. That is so annoying for me when people can't see their own fault in a relationship, even when somebody is saying it to them. Like, I'm telling you, this is an issue for me. And you telling me that I'm tripping. And basically, it's so many words. I'm tripping. And I just need to get that out of my head. Not, you need to change your approach with me. Throw the whole man away. So Bennett and Henry meet up and talk. And Amelia and Bennett will find out in a week where she's going to be moving for her residency. So, yeah. I think he's going to go wherever she goes, in all honesty. I don't think he's going to give up this relationship for a zip code. Just saying. I feel like he's one of those people that will find a way to be himself wherever he is. Henry confides in Bennett about Christina and feeling, you know, that she was basically trying to play him when she said confidence was a deal breaker for her. And I like the way Ben talked to him because he gave him some really good advice. He was like, you know, maybe that's something that you need to talk about her, what she sees confidence as, because sometimes people think confidence is not questioning yourself at all. But really, confidence is trusting who you are in spite of questioning, you know, how you want to handle something, or you know what I'm saying? Like, you question yourself all the time. That's natural. It's being able to stick to your guns regardless. Okay. So Henry and Christina talk, and he asks if she is intentionally trying to hurt him with saying that her deal breaker is confidence. And she says no, but she's learning more and more that that's a deal breaker for her. And she asks if he can eventually get to a place where he can be confident. And he compares being confident to, like, you know, throwing a ball 300 yards or something like that, as if being confident is the same thing as being a pro athlete. Like, no, that's not how any of this works. Like, everybody should be confident in who they are. Okay? Who you are. You know why? Because you can't really, like, alter or change it that much. You are who you are, and you should learn who you are, accept that, and learn how to be confident in what you know about yourself for sure. Okay? You know you can dress. You know you're a gentleman. You know certain things. You be confident in those things. So he don't know how to handle it, but that's something that him and Christina are going to have to talk about. Then we see Woody and Imani play a game, and she ends up having to give him a massage. And then he has to dance for her, and then they dance together. It was just real cute. And then he licked chocolate off her neck. And that just goes to show how everybody is at different points in the relationship. Woody and Imani are at the chocolate licking phase. And everybody else is barely holding hands in this bitch. With the exclusion of Bennett and Amelia, who are obviously rubbing pelvises together. Okay, since that's what they did, this episode. They held each other and rubbed pelvises. But anyway, y'all, that was Married at First Sight. I hope y'all enjoyed. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Love you. See you in the next one.